You may want to get a ladder if you're under 6'6", because being able to see the whole job and be able to understand and grasp everything easily is going to take some time. So it's better to have a ladder.
We're here. I got the millimeter, my favorite set. Like I told you, you guys, I can hook you up. Just let me know. I'm gonna take these two off. Actually, I'm just gonna power off, because if you take power off, ain't getting power. So I'm just gonna take this off. Quick ass job, no problem.
So what you're gonna want to do is remove the upper intake. There's 2 bolts, one by the throttle body and one all the way to the back of the base where the air cleaner is at. You're gonna want to remove those. Okay, so we're going to be working on a 2003 Hummer. As you see, the first screw is going to be right there to the right bottom, and the second screw will be to the far left on the base of the alternator. And the quick way to see it is from this side of the actual Hummer right here. Okay, pardon me, I'm going to zoom in on it for you. All right, as you see, there's 2 of them. So now you have a 15 millimeter wrench, say 15 millimeters, and it's a ratchet. So all I got to do is set it to tighten and lift up. And this allows the belt to be loosened so that I can easily slip the belt off of the alternator, which is over here. My son will be assisting in a second, but I have the whole set. If you're interested in buying one, leave comments in the video, but here we go. Okay, now if you do this right, you won't have a problem. But you see this plug right here? That plug is very, very brittle. 2003, all that heat constantly going to it. Eventually, the plastic is going to become so brittle that it'll snap off. So be real gentle. I found myself using a flathead screwdriver from the side of the driver's side, lifting it up, while someone on the passenger side lifted it up. So that way it didn't cause any damages. I mean, you probably could do it as one-man show and all, but me, I'm an older fella, so I like to make sure I do things on the up and up. But yeah, that should be about right. All you got to do is just lift up the little plastic piece right there, and then someone else lifts up the actual plug off the alternator. Then there's like this bolt in the back holding one of the power wires that feeds the battery and keeps the battery charged. Right there, if you look real closely, make sure you unscrew that. I believe that's a 10 millimeter bolt. So now we're setting it to remove it with the 10 millimeter ratchet wrench there. We're going to loosen it, get it off, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed to pull the plug off. And then we're going to remove those 2 bolts that we just discussed earlier. And then, you guessed it, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be putting on the new alternator.
You see, both bolts are out. Yep. One was that there. See it? One more time. Them bolts. What was you in for a second? That bolt's gone, and that bolt's gone. And we still have the belt on. But we're gonna do the belt in a second. You're gonna do the belt now. Right. So now, one more time. I'm gonna do some lifting. Here we go. Now right here. Now one more time. There's the belt tensioner guide. It's in the front of your Hummer. If you don't have it, you may want to pause the video now and just study that. But if you do have it, you can go ahead and read it. But for now, we're gonna go ahead and make it easy on ourselves. And when we say, we said left, which is up for me. Okay? And see, he took the belt off. He's laying down there so it won't move. Now, the thing about these alternators is they're really tight. We're gonna make another next section in a second. 1 second. This is usually tight, but because we've done a few, it's actually lighter. Watch how he does this. Yeah, yeah. But usually yours might take you a few minutes, so you may want to take a pliers or a screwdriver and kind of like put it right in here in this indention and lift up, and then go on the other side and then lift up. His on the driver's side, and we keep the other bolt that was here by the diagram. That way we wouldn't mix them up. But look at the new. Look how nice and beautiful that looks. I'm gonna let him do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give the time. We're gonna pull this up out of this box, and we're just gonna stick it right and align it right back with the holes. And then we're gonna push it down tight, and then lift the belt, put the belt back on top first, and then do our connectors. Now, even though he might have gotten his bolt in there, great. And we got to make sure that when you put the bolt in there, it can slide back and forth easy on both sides. So he may have to tap the alternator from the top to make it go nicely down into the cradle, so that he can slide it in and out, so it goes almost halfway in and out. Can you do that yet? Can you show us real quick?
I just lifted it to align it.
All right, so here we go. Yeah, so he just lifted it to align it, but here's that one. See, now pull it real quick and just show how easy it should go in when you first put it in. Because a lot of people mix this up and they end up stripping their screws. But see how nice and quick, the quick action, it goes far in. All threads are no longer seen. See how long the threads are? Now watch, when he puts it in there, the threads actually make it all the way to the back. So make sure you get that.
Pull it out on the first 2 turns. If you can pull it out on the first 2 turns, you're doing something wrong.
Right. Okay.
Screw over there.
So now here's the second screw. Now, you don't see it, but stop for a second. Don't do it yet. Before we put all this in there, I was tapping this down hard
to make sure it aligns.
To make sure it aligns. I may have to tap it a couple more times, but let's go ahead and let's see. Because I don't want people to think that this is just going to be cake or perfect. It's perfectly aligned now. But sometimes it's tight to get in here. And when it's tight, that's because you have to tap it down until it goes in there. Yeah, you see that when you tap it no more? There, see? And that's the trick. Now you gotta watch that. You gotta watch that belt, because if you mess your belt up, the whole job becomes a long job. Now stop for a second, please. Let's go ahead and lift the belt on there now. That way we can fix the bolts if we need wrench. You may not have one, but look how fast we're gonna do this. That's a lot of turns. So if you're doing it, it may not be that very.
5 minutes of bolt.
But we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait. So we're just doing it.
We're gonna go back with our, connectors that go back on here.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and put them back the proper way.
Awesome.
So this is the first connector here.
All right.
Put the bolt back on behind it.
Beautiful.
We have 10mm connect. Make sure it says on and not off, because obviously you're going on.
I happen to like this kind of set of tools. It makes it so much easier. The job is so much quicker. I can't stress, if you don't have a ratchet wrench, not a ratchet socket wrench, but a ratchet wrench, the job is just so complicated. But with these tools right here, I mean, if you really want to get a click on them, let me know. I'll put them in the link. You can buy them from me. It shouldn't be a big problem, but you can also find them at the local craft store on Sears.
We're gonna put a rubber stopper back on top of this,
you know,
so it doesn't get wet and moisture gets into the engine bed.
There we go. We gotta put that clip back on. Where's the clip?
Now we got this clip here. I can't see that side, so.
All right, hold on a second. Now, you don't need no freaking, what are they gonna say? Something like they're doing a breaker bar?
Breaker bar.
Yeah, you don't need a breaker bar for this job, yo. Let me tell you before I put this last plug right in here.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a plug right now in this video.
Okay.
Number one, listen for the one kid. His music's good. It's great. I love it. It motivates me to do things. I listen to Gotta Get Back to Work all the time. I'm a big fan of it. It may not make a lot of sense to a lot of y'all, but the messages that are in his music, they're just ridiculous. I'm gonna put a link to Gotta Get Back to Work.